With continued requests and pleas from my viewers on how a poor man can buy cheap property video, I am going to be making this show and dedicating it to that audience. And what I'm going to do is detailed information on how you can find property and different methods that I'm aware of and that I know people have used and that I've used personally to get property and purchase it. So stay tuned and I'll give you the details. Welcome to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. Being the creator of How a Poor Man Can Buy Cheap Property, I've had many requests from viewers from around the world asking me how to go about doing what I did and also if it's available in their area. So this video is for those viewers, and I'm going to do my best to attempt to answer all those questions and also give you the best guidance I can come up with on how you can find property in your area that is affordable, and also find different paths that is not the traditional path to purchasing property, because there are other methods available. So let's get down to business and we'll go explain it step by step. To begin with, if you are watching this show, you have internet access, and that is your tool for finding property that is affordable. Go onto Google or any search engine for that matter. There's Dogpile, there's DuckDuckGo, there's a variety of new ones that are coming up. So whatever your choice is, start your search by simply typing into the search engine cheap property, cheap land, cheap houses. Use all these keywords. And say if you live in Arkansas, type in cheap land Arkansas, or cheap house Arkansas, or even use cheap real estate. Any of these keywords will get you to a bunch of websites that are offering cheap properties for sale. Now, I was just recently on the internet doing a search prior to making this video, and I found a boatload of cheap properties by state, by county. What I'm going to do is in the links below, I'll put the links to all my videos I have relating to this subject matter. And I'm also going to provide the web links to those databases which you too can find cheap properties. Now, in my experience, I was homeless, got skills, got a job, received an income, worked on my credit rating, lifted my credit a little bit, then I was able to go find property. I found this one by accident. I was driving by, this is one method, I was driving by and I noticed there was weeds growing over the driveway, so you might want to pay attention to that. That could be indicative of a property that is potentially abandoned or neglected. What I did, this property did not have a mailbox or an address sign posted on the land. There was a home site here, so it had the power installed, it had the phone installed, the well was installed, and so was the septic. So the whole infrastructure was here. It had a single wide mobile structure on it, and it was completely destroyed. There was nothing left of it. There was trash sitting around, there was some wrecked cars, but look past all that when you find property like that. The property you're looking at is got a lot of potential. I purchased a double wide manufactured home for $10,000. I purchased it from a private party. She did not charge me interest, so that was fortunate. So that's one method of finding a house that you could purchase without going through mortgage and bank loans. So look for people who are willing to work with you. There are properties, or there are homes on Craigslist. Sometimes they're absolutely giving these mobile structures away free. But the clincher is you have to have them moved. Yet I came up with the money, I scraped payday to payday because I was working at the time, and I was able to buy the units required for moving the structure, and also paying the moving company to have the double wide manufactured home moved. So I didn't care if this land that I purchased did not have a livable structure. I had my RV I could live in while I was putting the house together. And the RV I bought, I also purchased from a private party. They did not charge me interest. I was able to pay $300 a month until it was paid off, and I put all my bonus and tax refunds to get to it, and we had it paid off within a very short period of time. Now the house we paid off in about 9 months, because we had a cash windfall that came our way, was able to really bless us and help us get the house paid off. So when we purchased the land, the house was paid for. And I was blessed to have friends that had a ranch that I was able to store the house on the ranch for about 2 years, and that's how I accidentally found this place. Anyway, now follow this, okay? When you go to Google Maps, stay in the basic map view. And then when you scroll in, as you scroll in or zoom in, you'll see little lines starting to appear. These lines are boundaries for property lines. These are the property line boundaries. The space within these property line boundaries typically are called tax lots. And to be able to get an address or coordinates for these tax lots, you take your cursor from your mouse and you place it in the middle of that lot. Then you right click and an option will come in, and it says, click the option that says what's here. That'll give you an address if the address is available. I went and Googled the address that came up, and two items came up. Number one was the obituary of the gentleman who had passed away and left no heirs. So with this lot not having a property taxes being paid on it for 3 years, the county seized it, held on it for a year to make sure there was no liens against it, got it free and clear, then offered it up for auction. Now there's another step, is you look at your counties and see if there's auctions that they're clearing out surplus properties. These surplus properties on this month's auction list that came out, now in our county it comes out once a year. There's approximately 14 properties listed, and the properties, sometimes you'll find properties like for $400. Sometimes you'll find them for $25,000, $125,000 with a house on them. But you want to take into consideration that with counties, depending on your county, not all counties are the same, depending on the county you're looking at, is they may have an option of, if it doesn't sell at auction, they will take minimum bid price at what they call an over-the-counter sale. And then what this means is they sell it to you for the bid price, that minimum bid price. So you have nobody to keep competing against at an auction driving the price up. So That was my benefit because this place is trash, which deflected a lot of potential buyers, which I saw past the garbage, and I made this little paradise as a result of my fearlessness of looking past and seeing its potential. Once you find the property, you find the address, go ahead and go down to the county and find the individual that is managing the properties for the county. And talk to this individual or call the individual. I just merely found the phone number on the internet listing of our county, called that individual, and asked her if the property was still available. She said yes. So the terms of the county, and it's listed right there in the websites. Unfortunately, some counties don't have websites, but don't be afraid to go down and start talking to people and ask if they have what their purchase program, if they have any purchase programs. Fortunately, our county required, if the property sold for under $10,000, they required cash out. You have to take cash and cash it out right then and there in that day. If it's over $10,000, which my land was listed for $60,000. Now mind you, $60,000 is a fraction of the value of the property. And that is a good price for this real estate market in this part of the country. In other parts of the country, like say for instance Arkansas or Kansas, properties go for a heck of a lot cheaper. So markets are different depending on where you live geographically, so keep that in mind. So $60,000, they wanted 10% down, and they had the option of they would carry the note for 20 years. So I had to come up with $6,000. That would be the 10% down. I didn't have $6,000 on me. Now, mind you, I was still working here, just starting back to work, and I was still, a working poor. I had to be creative. I went down, I was working on my credit, so I went down to a financial institution and I got a loan. And this is not one of those title loan companies that are like, what do they call them, loan sharks? No, this is, or piranhas or whatever fish they are. This is just a regular financial institution that is reputable and upright. But because of where my credit was, they needed something to secure the loan, what they call collateral. So I offered them the title to my car since I owned my car outright, and they took a car loan or car title as collateral, and that helped build the credit up. So I took the $6,000 that they loaned me, and I went down and I paid the gal, and I only had to pay $53 in addition to that for her to file the paperwork at the recorder's office to legitimize the whole transaction. But there's another detail I had to do. I had to file a financial report. So in most cases you're going to have to fill out a financial report. But don't be afraid if your credit is in the toilet. That I'll get to that point here later in the story. So hang on. There's hope for you. So once I turned in my financial statement, she took it, sent it to the committee to have them approve it, and then I started paying a monthly payment on the property after I had given her my 10% down. Now they're carrying the note for 20 years. It's technically not a mortgage. I call it a mortgage because that's what it feels like, but it's technically not a mortgage. It is a promissory note to pay with my transaction with the county. I'm in a contract with the county. And so these are options you can look at. Also, another option is look for private parties that are selling and they're willing to work with you, like owner financing or owner carry. It doesn't hurt to ask. Just put it out there and ask. You don't get if you don't ask. Another means of purchasing property is there are web listings out there that is no credit check, and the properties are so cheap that these people are selling the property and carrying the note. Now, I found several properties in multitude of states that are offering this. There's some in Oregon, Texas, Arkansas, you know, a lot of places. Some places are just bare land. Some places have a residence on them. But, you know, it's whatever you can tolerate. What do you have the ambition for? Just getting on the land initially is one of the main goals in obtaining that American dream. So that's as much as I can tell you for right now. Please view the videos down in the description area below this video, and also check out that web link that takes you to the different web sites that you can find cheap property. And remember, don't be afraid, don't fear, because people fail so much because they don't fear, they don't even try, and they just they come out and it's like they ask me to help them, and it's like, you know what, I'm not going to help you. You have to help yourself. So don't even ask me to help you. I have a full plate. I don't have time to help. You got to do it yourself, and if you can't do it yourself, you're just going to be stuck where you're at. I'm sorry for you, but that's the reality of life. My name is Jerry Hansen, the host of Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I want to thank you guys for viewing this show and checking out my other videos. You could do that by subscribing if you haven't already. I don't charge a cent for subscription. It's free. And you can also stay tuned for new videos as I upload them. My show is about my adventures on learning how to homestead, becoming self-reliant and self-sufficient, and attempting to be successful at it. You could do that by clicking that bell icon down below, and what that does is that alerts you to new videos. I'm also on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Reddit, Blogger. I'm also on Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram as well. I'll see you guys in more videos. I sure hope this video helped you out. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.